Stella Buho here, your Guardian Owl, and this is Drinking with Mose.
This is Drinkin at Mo's, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's all so mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Mo's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Mo's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, no, it's a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Mo's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Mo's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody, welcome. Drinking at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, if you will, helps out the YouTube channel because the YouTube algorithm continues to be a pain in my ass. We are most places you can find audio podcasts too. Leave a review there. Now that that's all out of the way, I'm excited today to have with me, as part of my Fantastic League of Wrestling series, and you can find her a lot of other places go into it, the Guardian Owl herself, Stella Buho. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain too much. I'm always thrilled when I end up with my schedule and right now to the point where I'm already looking into November.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, yeah, I can't complain. But yeah, no, lots of great things with the stuff for Fantastic League of Wrestling, obviously. And we'll talk a little bit about them because that's a big part of what I want to talk about. But the first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business.
Okay. Well, I've always kind of been a fan. I grew up watching it as most people do, and that led to me becoming super obsessed with it. Growing up, I collected all the action figures, the normal, what a fan would do.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that got me into actually wrestling is I always wanted to be a wrestler. I could not imagine not being one now, but it was the one thing that felt like that was what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough for there to be an independent wrestling show called Independence Pro Wrestling, probably a couple blocks from my house. Never knew anything about indie wrestling at that point because I was still pretty young. I went to the show. I got really into it, and during the raffle, I went to, buy a raffle ticket, and I was like, "How do you guys get to do this? I want to do this." And that's how I ended up meeting my trainer, Josh Raymond, because he had trained almost everyone on that show. And that kind of snowballed and kind of led me to where I'm at now.
Hey, that's awesome. And it's really great when you have a promotion that close to you, because there's obviously places that independent promotions, you're probably driving a few hours. Some more, excuse me, some more rural places But when you have some that are that close, like me, I have like two that like are consistently in Omaha, where I'm from. Like
Okay.
one's right across town, one is like I'd say no more than 10 minutes from where I live. So when you have that, it's great. I know I got started watching independent wrestling kind of late because wasn't until I was in the Navy back in like 2009
Oh wow.
that I really got started watching, because before then I was living an hour or more away from where I live right now, and nothing. Well, there was one promotion that was kind of getting started, but you know, at the time I was like, well, shit, I don't have anybody to go with, and now anymore I'm like, well, shit, I don't care, I'm going.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
That's a great mindset to have.
oh, I learned it actually in the Navy, because there'd be times where you know everybody's off doing their own thing when we're not out at sea. So I'm like, well, crap, I want to go see a movie, so damn it, I'm gonna go. And they just brought it back. But thing I like to talk about, because I know wearing the mask, the owl, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of where I got started watching independent wrestling was like in Southern California, where there's like a hub of lucha libre culture. The mask mean a ton.
Mhm.
So I wanted to go into the meaning behind the owl, and how that all came about for you.
Well, it came out more so as I always had to protect certain family members, and I just grew up that way, and that led to more of the guardian aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
The owl aspect came from my stepfather. He was half Native American, and when I
Oh.
was 6, he um named me Singing Wise Owl, which when you're 6, you're very impressionable, so I became obsessed with owls.
Yeah.
When you mix the two of those, there's a I think it's a cartoon called Guardians of Gahul, and that was a pretty big inspiration for the character.
Okay, I get it. I love hearing the origin stories behind you know everything, because I know the first little bit of somebody's career can be a bit of a feeling out process. What's gonna stick? What isn't? What are you actually gonna feel? Is like what you? Oh, wow, words are hard. What are you gonna feel
They
like?
are.
Yeah, what are you gonna feel like? Resonates with you, which will in turn resonate with the crowd, because it it definitely shows when the crowd can tell when you're being genuinely you, and not just something that a promoter said, here, I want you to be this.
Yeah,
Now, you're kind of all over the Midwest,
I try to be.
into Michigan, and even out, we'll start out here. You're even getting out kind of close to me, into Iowa. I saw this
Yeah,
one actually happened before recording here, but Njpw out of Iowa, they're the four-way match. Now, I'm fairly familiar with each of the people you were listed as going up against there. Allie Quinn, Brooke Havoc, and Sadie Bell. Sadie Bell actually pretty big here in Omaha for the promotion Magnum Wrestling. They got a bit of a blossoming women's division going on there. Brooke Havoc, her name speaks for itself. She's huge, great talent. And Allie Quinn, right up there, great talent herself. What was that show like for you, going up against three great like all four, really, yourself included, four great
Thank you.
talents all in one match?
Well, it was definitely a battle of endurance and of wits, because when one of us had the upper hand, another person came in to try and take that opportunity because it was for the vacated legacy title. Everyone wanted that championship. So it was. I am not super familiar, honestly, with most of them. I have heard of Havoc, um, and what I have heard of her, she definitely backs it up. Um,
Yeah,
very impressive, very impressive. Um, but yeah, it was definitely something different than what I usually face, and I was definitely down for that.
oh yeah, and it was a great. I didn't get to watch the match itself, but just seeing all the talent in there was a great representation of just the quality of women's wrestling that's out there. And women's wrestlers that want to be known as not just great women's wrestlers, but just great professional wrestlers in general. Because now, where, like, for example, the main event of WrestleMania, that always been the men's thing. Women's wrestling hadn't really been thought of in the main event aspect. Now it's done frequently and very much deserved. So to see
Definitely.
that example there, and now you've also been in, I've done a preview episode for a show for this promotion, Divine Pro, all women's wrestling. And I love it because, you hear, well, I've heard it said before about, all women's wrestling shows that certain promotions like didn't want to put one on because, oh, the lack of talent out there for it. But nah, you get a show like Divine putting on the quality that they do and bringing in everybody that they do, and that you go looking for it, you'll find some great talent there.
Definitely. And that's something that I'm very happy that Divine does, is they go out searching for new talent to bring in to like showcase to the downriver Michigan area that there's talented women out there and that we can put on as much of a banger as any of these guys can.
Oh yeah, no, and oh god, what was it? I am forgetting who actually said this. It might have been Jericho. I don't know, but Jericho's the one that pops into my mind when uh I want to say it was Michelle McCool and somebody else were saying that they were getting told to not go as hard because they were showing up the guys. But then I'm wanting to say it was Jericho that said, "Man, if the guys are going out there worrying about the women showing them up, maybe they got to step up their game, because it doesn't really matter what gender identity you have. If you can go out there and go, hey, go out there and go."
Definitely.
Now, another promotion before we get into, friends at Flow, Chaos Wrestling, another Michigan one that I saw for you.
Yeah.
I saw, well, another person that they had to give up the Divine Championship, but Alice Crowley there. So for people not in the Michigan area, what do you
Yeah.
got going on there? Because I know with independent wrestling, there's a lot of traveling around, so you're a little bit of everywhere. which, hey, great. I love it.
Yeah.
But what do you got going on with chaos wrestling for those that might not be as familiar with the product?
Well,
Oh, looks like we froze here.
chaos wrestling is a completely,
Oh,
yeah, a little bit.
oh, wait, we're gonna, we're back. Technical difficulties, that crap
There we
happens,
go.
but we're talking about chaos wrestling and what you got going on there.
Yeah.
So what do you got
So
going
chaos
on with?
wrestling is a completely different,
Oh, damn.
sorry. Chaos wrestling is definitely a completely different promotion than most other ones. Um, they run more hardcore style matches, and it's definitely interesting because they allow me to do more intergender matches too. Um,
Okay.
I held their women's title for nearly a year there, and right after I dropped it to actually Alice Crowley, I challenged Mark Ross for one of the other titles that they have there. It's forgot. I'm really bad with the names because they have a couple there. Um, I didn't end up winning it, but there's definitely opportunities for a rematch. There's definitely opportunities for other matches to happen. Um, there's actually their show is running this Saturday, which I'm very bad on dates, but um,
Yeah, like September
and I don't know.
6th, I believe, is the date.
Yeah, and I don't even know who my opponent is going into this, but
Ooh.
I am not surprised if I come out on top. I put in my work at that company, and no matter who they give me, I know I can prove that I'm worth giving a shot to.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it because there's times you got to be prepared for a little bit of everything. And me being a fan of the hardcore, sometimes death match style, I sounds like that place is right up my dang alley. I know
Yeah.
I've had quite a few death match people on, including one of my, hell, if I can get this out without pulling down anything. He's been on twice. John Wayne Murdoch
Mm.
had him on twice now. That was fun. But going into now, fantastically your wrestling, a great family friendly product. They go all over. Season 2 is in full swing now, and it's just a great time. Like every show I see, I'm seeing the crowd reactions. I'm seeing, I know Mr. Bullard mentioned that he was the one in charge of footage I saw of one of the Indiana Beach shows where they showed the crowd coming in, just the line of people coming in there. Those shows in particular look pretty fun. What have those been like for you?
The Indiana Beach shows are tons of fun. Probably the largest crowd that I've been in front of because you're right. The line, once those doors open, it's almost never ending. We run out of chairs, it becomes standing room only. It's packed. And like most of those people that are coming in, like they're coming in with kids, and those kids give give the show so much more emotion. They're crying as their heroes are getting hurt, and they're screaming in happiness as they win, It's such a different experience than most shows because it is just so emotional.
Oh
Um
yeah,
and it's definitely just a different venue too, like with how everything's set up. It's
oh
definitely interesting.
oh yeah, and there's just something great about the passion the little kids show at those shows because it's like sometimes you see, yeah, the adults will get into it, but you see how much more into it those little kids are getting into each show, and they're like, as much as cheering the good guys, they're booing the bad guys and giving the bad guys hell. I like, there's times
Yeah,
where I get just as much entertainment from watching in the stuff in the ring, the same amount that I do watching little kids given, you know, participating how they can in the shows. It's just fun.
definitely. It's definitely fun.
Now, I got to ask, with the Indiana beach shows and being at a theme park, are you one that likes to partake in the rides after or before?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes, definitely. I love roller coasters. I'm a big fan of roller coasters.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I'm jealous because I have not been to a good theme park in a while. And yeah, I know if I were on one of those shows, oh boy.
Really. Well, I went
Oh,
on some of the rides at Indiana Beach, and they're definitely solid. I would definitely recommend going on them. They're pretty
oh,
good.
I know if I were ever at one of those shows or on one of those shows, I would definitely be partaking at some point during the day. Like, you're not going to keep me away from that. That's just too much dang
Definitely.
fun. And the fact of in the summer, it's also a water park. So you got that part too. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay, yep, I'm definitely gonna need an extra day just to go there because I know how busy a show day can get. Because
definitely.
I've been thrilled enough to be a part of a couple shows, and show days can be busy. So if somebody weren't able to partake, I would understand. And another place that I remember watching a show at was a recent show at a fair, and the visuals of that show was fun. It just looked like fun. People constantly passing by, like at the water park, the Indiana Beach, kind of the same concept. You have people constantly
Yeah,
streaming through, and people gaining curiosity. Oh, what's everybody doing over there? Much the same at the fair. People see the commotion going on. You're bringing new eyes to the product, new fans, and hey, nothing wrong with that.
definitely. I had a lot of fun at that what did you call it? The festival or
The fair, yeah,
yeah, the fair.
yeah.
Tomato
I'm
tomato.
I'm forgetting what the name of the fair was, but I remember seeing the pictures and seeing some clips, and I'm like, wow, that just, much like the theme park shows, just looks like fun.
It definitely was a lot of fun. You might have seen it in one of the highlight videos or one of the clips. I ended up wrestling Steffi Mack there, and we had so much fun that we ended up using one of the vendor games by the ring. Um, we wrestled outside, and we ended up getting to this like duck pond, and she tried to put my head in, and obviously I can't let that happen. So
Yeah.
I ended up putting her head in a bunch of in the water with a bunch of like rubber ducks. It was great. They loved it.
I'm gonna have to go watch that back. That
You
like,
should. You definitely should.
oh man, because that just reminds me of like going back to some of the old WCW spring break shows they do where they're like the ring was over a pool, and
Oh wow.
I would be cheering the whole time like, oh my god, somebody get thrown in, please, somebody get thrown in that damn pool. And every time somebody would, I'd just be like, woo, that would have been me in the crowd for that. Seeing you
That's great.
dunking her head into the the duck game thing. Oh man, I would have been I would have lost my voice. I'll just say that.
That would have been great.
Now, big show coming up for Fantastic League of Wrestling, Future Rising, September 20th. Now, that's looking like, obviously, a lot of young talent on the roster. What are you looking forward to there, proving your what you got going?
Well, at the last show, I ended up winning the Royal Rumble at the end of the show, which was the main event, and I won Queen of the Beach. I'm hoping to continue that success into the next show and solidifying myself as a top competitor at Fantastic League of Wrestling.
Hey, that's the way to look at it. And I know there's a lot of great talent there from, I know this guy who past guest recently went back to the UK, the rapid fire Tommy Gunn, Supernova, 2 times Supernova champion. I can't forget about that.
Of course.
Another former guest, and I know you have had some issues with these guys. Well, I almost let an F bomb slip with these guys when bringing them up because
Yeah.
Those effing guys, which I about let an F bomb slip. I didn't use the abbreviated effing
Yeah.
there. Now, that's one, speaking of those guys, and the whole thing that I notice a lot with Fantastic League of Wrestling is they do a great job at highlighting tag team wrestling,
Definitely.
which, me being a huge fan of tag team wrestling that I am, I love it because there's a lot of places out there that don't really highlight it. Now, I can imagine one prize that you wouldn't mind getting your hands on is held right now by those effing guys.
Getting help from them?
No, not getting help from them, but getting the belts that those two guys have.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Me and Nocturnals wrestled against TFG. I'm gonna call them TFG. They don't
TFG,
deserve more than
yeah,
2 seconds of my time. Um, and they only won by ripping off Nocturnals' mask, which is like the most disrespectful thing you can do.
oh yeah,
And that's how they won. That's
that's
how they
like a
won. They
cardinal sin when it comes to luchadors mask. Like you don't go ripping off the mask unless it's like a loser loses their mask match. You just don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I and we never had a rematch after that. Personally, I feel like that
We need to
was,
rectify that.
yes, for lack of better terms, definitely. Yeah, that was so disrespectful, and so I don't know why that hasn't been a rematch yet, but I definitely feel like it needs to be, because
Yeah.
there's no way to excuse behavior like that.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean there was the issue with them being over in Japan for a while, but hey, they're back now, so we need to make that happen. We need to make that right.
Definitely.
And I mean, hey, I mean, I can, I got the ref shirt. Special referee. I mean, I can come in. Hey, well, manifest the heck out of that. Eh. But
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to talk to John about that.
yeah, we need to talk to the big guy about that. But just lots of great stuff coming up. Fantastic League of Wrestling. They've had multiple shows there at Indiana Beach. I'm loving being the official podcast partner, getting to be a part of the family. It's been a thrill. And, I got 2 categories here that, I kind of round stuff off with.
Okay.
And, First one's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me first thoughts that pop into your head when I give you each of these people. And I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible.
Okay.
So it's kind of a twofold here. One, the mask, the other great women's wrestlers out there. So,
Okay.
like I said, first thoughts that pop into your head. First one here. One of my personal favorites, Penta.
Penta is a very entertaining and very athletic competitor. I definitely love his little dance that he does going to the um
The ring.
coming coming out of the curtain. Definitely
Oh, yeah.
very entertaining.
Oh, yeah. He's been a favorite of mine since Lucha Underground and some of those days. I've been lucky enough to have a bunch of talent from there on. And, speaking of that dance, I I was watching, as of this recording, the last Monday Night Raw, and seeing him with the War Raiders, getting them to even do that little dance that he does. I'm like, okay, I was already a fan of all three of them, but I was loving it. I was
That's great.
loving seeing the three of them together. Now, next up, I've actually gotten to meet this person a couple different times. And, former TNA Knockouts champion, Masha Slamovich.
Okay. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her. I've haven't honestly heard a super lot about her. I've heard that she's talented and obviously being a former TNA, knockouts champion, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
very intense individual.
yeah, I would assume so. With a name like that, you can't. There's no way to not be intense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, heck, she's beaten Nick Gage for the GCW title. So, like, if you're going up against a guy like Nick Gage and beating him for a title, like, yeah, you got to be intense because Nick Gage, good lord, you you hear the first notes of his entrance, and the whole venue turns into a giant mosh pit. Next up, when thinking of famous masked wrestlers, especially nowadays, it would almost be a cardinal sin if I did not mention this guy, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it would be a cardinal sin. He is probably the most famous for wearing the mask and being a luchador, and it's definitely shocking, but surprisingly so in like a pleasant way that he's still going at it, still wrestling, and still being the biggest little guy out there.
Oh yeah, I'm loving the dynamic between him and his son Dominic. Like them
Yeah,
them razzing each other all the time. I'm loving it. Like I can only hope that when my son, who's good lord, it's weird for me thinking he is already approaching 9 months old, but I can only hope to have a similar dynamic to where, yeah, we can give each other crap, but we know we have our back at the end of the day, sort of a thing. Like, no, I feel myself about to get on a tangent there, which Lord knows I do that on this show. So
yeah,
before I go on too big of a one, because when talking about my boy, I can get on a bit of a tangent. So last
very
but
understandable.
last but not least here, I oh god, I'm a huge fan of hers. The Juggernaut, Jordan Grace.
Oh, very. I immediately just very big, very strong. Um, I didn't think she has a great personality,
Oh yeah,
like a
I
very good attitude towards life.
for sure. And I remember before she had signed with WWE when she was still with TNA, and she made that first Royal Rumble appearance. I just remember hearing her entrance, but initially thinking, okay, who has sirens in their entrance? Not thinking that she was even a possibility. But then she
Oh,
comes out, and I'm like, oh, damn. And then they actually gave her a pretty damn good showing in that one.
yeah, yeah, that's very, very good.
Oh, yeah. Because you're always well, more so back then. For them to bring in somebody from another promotion, you'd always be worried about, oh, are they actually going to give them a shot?
Yeah.
But they gave her a pretty decent showing in that one. All right, now I have some random questions.
Oh
Some
no.
wrestling related, some not, some nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far.
Okay.
I like to keep it lighthearted and fun, so I try to keep it, But first question I have, when you, wow, words are hard again. I am.
It's okay.
I've only had one damn beer. I'm not that drunk. All right, but okay. So rewind there. I give you the question first, answer that pops in your head. There we go. Wow, I was actually able to get through that.
Good
All
job.
right. So first question: craziest in match moment for you? One that you were in there for.
One that I wasn't in there for?
One that you. Well, you know what? Heck, one each. One that you were there to witness it, and one that was like actually in you were involved in the match.
Well, the one I can easily think of with me being involved is there was a it was a what is it called? It was at Forest Wrestling, and it was me versus Heather Blue. I believe I had the Divine title at the time, and it was there was a stipulation to it, and it's literally escaping me.
It
Basically, it was
happens.
kind of it was a chaotic match, and I was trying to do one of my finishes, the bird bath, which is a 360 Vader bomb off of a ladder
Oh,
onto her who was on a table.
oh,
And the ladder ended up moving. So I just died, basically. That was definitely
oh,
a
oh. That
scary feeling.
yeah,
Um,
that just sounds painful.
it was a lot of splinters because the table did. I don't know if the table actually broke or not, but it definitely got a decent amount of splinters after
Ugh.
that.
Even good lord, I think it'd be even worse if it didn't break.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Trying to think of one that I wasn't there, like in the match. The craziest? Mm.
It can be
There's
hard to
one.
think. There's so much
Yeah,
out there.
there definitely is. If there was one I was there to watch, and it was at the same promotion, and it was definitely um in a very intense match, and there was a lot of insane things going on. It was at Forest Wrestling, different uh show at the time, but I was watching it, and it was Adam Wick versus Alex Weir, and they were trying to kill each other. It was it was definitely insane.
Oh man, I gravitate towards a lot of the intense personas. That match sounds like it would have been right up my alley because I remember
Definitely.
one of my favorite matches that like I've ever got to witness was one that I like to think was right up there with that. And I actually got to interview one of these guys before the match. It was Jonah, aka Bronson Reed, versus Jeff Cobb. And
Okay.
I actually got to interview Bronson Reed before the match. And I was sitting close enough that, like, when they would chop each other, you could see the individual beads of sweat just flying off of them. And it was
Yeah,
just nuts. And then,
that sounds crazy.
oh man. And then one, for the deathmatch fan of me, this one even made me kind of cringe a little. But I was actually there, third row, right by the entrance when AEW came to Omaha. They had
Okay.
the now infamous John Moxley Adam Copeland street fight, where Moxley got suplexed onto that nail board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened right in front of me. I could literally see them trying to pull it out of Moxley's back, and like the nails trying to hang on to his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that even made me cringe. And it takes a lot to make me cringe like that. It was nuts.
That's definitely fair. That's definitely fair. That was very grotesque.
Yeah, especially when you could see the individual trickles of blood coming out of each of the nail holes when they finally. Oh, I'm giving myself goosebumps even talking about it. All right, next up. Now I know what might be your favorite animal, but what would be your favorite animal besides an owl?
Hmm. Well, I'm a big fan of random critters, so be between like a ferret or a raccoon, honestly.
Okay, that's not. I mean, not one. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had anybody give those answers. But hey, can't can't blame you. I know. God dang, I used to know somebody that had a ferret as a pet, and it wasn't a mean critter at all. Raccoons, I haven't had too many great run-ins with raccoons. Yeah,
Fair.
yeah, those. Although, hey, I don't hate them by any means, but oh god. Okay, I'm about to. Okay, one tangent story, and then
Okay.
we'll get on to because when I was still living at my parents' house, there was like an egress window right by my room in the basement. And all of a sudden, I could hear both of my dogs outside just going nuts. So I run upstairs to try to figure out what the hell is going on. Both of my dogs had a raccoon cornered. Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah.
All right. Now, mentioned going a lot of places throughout the Midwest. Lots of traveling. What are a few songs that you would put on a road trip playlist?
Oh no. Oh no. I I keep my music fresh because I change up the genre every probably week, 2 weeks max. So
No, I get you.
some classics. There's definitely classics in the white white girl music. Um, it definitely helps you stay awake, you know.
Oh yeah.
Let me think. It's a good one. Ooh, I don't know. Might not be white girl music, I guess, but I'm a big fan of I think it's a classic. It's called "Stressed Out" by 21 Pilots. I feel like that one's a good throwback.
Okay, good one. I know me for me it really depends on where I'm going because I like you. I can listen to a little bit of everything. I know especially when I'm going to a wrestling show, it'll be a lot of stuff to, get me amped up. Like I'm a big uh I'm a big country guy. My wife and I have been to countless shows for this person, but Luke Combs has a few that
Mhm.
like I just love them. Like he did a song for the sequel to the movie Twister. It
Oh,
Ain't No
okay.
Love in Oklahoma. Just a great song. And then I actually got to use this one song for an entrance music one time. His song "Beer Never Broke My Heart."
Oh,
I've
really?
I've
Okay.
loved I've loved that song since he was only playing that song at concerts. So when he finally put that on an album, I'm like, I ever get to use it, I am using it.
That's very that's very fair.
Heck, I even got to do the whole Stone Cold beer bash thing with the cans over my head.
That's
When I
great. I'm happy you had that moment.
when I got the okay to do it, I'm like, I told the guy, you do not give a Stone Cold fan the offer that words are hard. The authorization to do that and then take it back. I will
Yeah.
probably just do it anyways. But yeah, great stuff. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I kind of have to have this question in here. Favorite drink doesn't matter alcoholic or not, because I know plenty of people out there don't drink for whatever reason. Some are too young to do it. So
Yeah.
I try to keep it inclusive of everybody.
Okay. Favorite drink? I I definitely like to have a tequila sunset every once in a while.
Okay. I like a good tequila drink as much as anybody. I got a few that I got a few bottles of tequila that, yeah, you put those things in with something, you gotta be a little careful because it's so smooth you can barely tell there's any dang alcohol in it. So
Definitely.
after like two or three of them, you're feeling it.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely got to be careful. Other than that, oh god, it wasn't. I need to throw this way, but my wife likes to tell me I got a problem, but I'm a bit of a Dr. Pepper fiend.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Oh
You
yeah.
like you like the barbecue water?
You know what? I've had that brought up to me before, and I also the same reaction I give everybody. Mmm, delicious barbecue water. Oh,
That's
hey,
great.
hey, everybody has their own taste, and if somebody doesn't like Dr. Pepper, I'm like, hey, more for me.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper is pretty good though. I'm not one to bash it, but I do like, poking fun every when I can.
Oh, hey, I got a thick skin. I can take it. But moving on to the last thing I got here. Best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
Okay. Best advice. Well, here's a couple of things, I guess. Find a very find a good school. Do your research on finding a good school. Um, Make sure that the trainer knows what they're doing, um, and has the experience to actually teach you.
Yeah.
Keep your body in shape. There's there's uh there's so many wrestlers out there. In order to make yourself stand out among the crowd, you have to have that look,
Yeah.
and you have to have something about you that stands out from the crowd, and obviously like keeping yourself safe and keeping your opponent safe, that should be top priority.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, yeah,
Um,
top up there for sure.
definitely. And then lastly, I feel like the last advice I would give would be to never quit because I feel like no matter what happens in a wrestling ring, no matter how you feel about a certain show, a promotion, whatever, your career is never over until you throw in that towel. And I feel like that's the hardest thing to do sometimes is to keep going, but I feel like it's the most rewarding thing ever.
Oh yeah, no, it can. I can definitely imagine that. There's plenty of times where you'll wonder, like, for the lack of a better way to put it, what the fuck am I doing? But
Yeah,
then you get to those good moments, the where you get those crowd reactions, you get that big title win, all sorts of moments out there that just make all the crap that you put yourself through worth it for sure. And the other thing I was thinking about when you brought up, you know, doing your research on a reputable school is like, I know, dating myself, 40, yeah, 42 now. God damn, I'm old. I can't even remember my fucking age. But the thing back growing up is I would hear about a wrestling school, but it would be like sometimes a state or two away from me.
oh
Now
wow,
it's like no matter what part of the country you live in, there is a reputable school within, oh, sometimes you might get lucky, it might be across town. Other times
yeah,
it might be a couple hours, but it is not hard to find. Every region of the country has them. You just got to go out and find which one is going to fit you and what you want to do best. I know,
definitely,
going back to Fantastic League of Wrestling, they got a good thing coming up with doing a lot of great seminars for training and keeping in ring shape because that, like you said, that's important because you don't want to get gassed out there and then risk
definitely,
injuring somebody. Because Lord knows there's enough footage out there of people getting gassed and ended up hurting somebody that we don't need to add to it. All right. Well,
yeah.
before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on the Guardian Owl, they can go ahead and get them there.
Okay, well, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now known as X, and TikTok. I might be forgetting one, but I believe that's like the main ones. Uh, you can find me at Stella Buho or at Your Guardian Owl on any of those platforms.
Definitely. We'll get all of that in the description. Well, I guess that is about all I have. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing what else you got going on with, obviously Fantastic League of Wrestling and everywhere beyond that as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
And
having me.
and you're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate it.
My issue with this fucking button.